The rise and rise of EB1, the One Piece Extra Booster Memorial Collection, is just over 6 months old now, and it just keeps going from strength to strength. Welcome back to the Chase Card, guys. If you've seen any of my other videos when it comes to booster box investments, you know that my methodology is really based around the top chase cards within a set and how I think the sealed booster box will do as a long-term investment. For example, the top 10 chase cards really have to have some good value in order for me to invest in the booster box as a sealed investment. If the top 10 chase cards are really cheap, I tend to avoid that as an investment. In today's video, I'm going to look at the top 10 chase cards of EB1, that Extra Booster Memorial Collection from One Piece. The top 10 chase cards, work out the total value of those top 10 relative to the purchase price of the booster box, and give it a percentage value. Talk about if it's a strong investment, a weak investment, or like a mid-tier investment. Let's just get straight into it. So guys, starting with the 10th most expensive chase card from One Piece's EB1 is this Laboon. Now this Laboon is up almost 3,500%. Can you believe that? That's right, 3,500, well 3,379% if you want to be accurate. 3,379%. In saying that, it started from an incredibly low base under $1 6 months ago. This came out of the gates under $1. It's now $25.40, guys. I think there's been sales a little bit higher than that. We're going to have a look in a minute. 70 cents, 75 cents 6 months ago when this set first got released, rather. And it's just been climbing and climbing and climbing. $3 August, $4 September, $5 September. $13 in October, $25.40 now, guys, for this Laboon. This thing is not slowing down, and this is 25 is not an expensive card, but just the growth of this Laboon has been insane. Here's some of the recent sales, guys, all through December. There's no shortage of this card on the market because there has been a ton, and I mean a ton of sales just in December. You can see here they're all around at 20. The lowest is about 19 down here on the 9th of December, $19. They've all been in the low to mid 20s. You can see here 23, 22, 24. We had a sale here of basically $30, $29.95, $30. We had 4 sales at $30. So this thing is climbing, guys, as a lot of the cards on this list are. Not all of them, but a lot of them. That's number 10, guys. Here's number 9. Here's the Shirahoshi. Now this card's $27.60, slightly more expensive than that Laboon we just saw. 6 months ago was basically $12. It went up to $15, $17 in July. Dropped again in October to just under 12. Anyway, it's sitting at $27.60. Most of that growth has happened literally just in the last month. In the last 4 weeks, this thing's doubled from $13 to $27.60. Let's check out some more sales here. Even here, so the average sale is $27.60 according to TCG Player, but you can see here, recent sales $35, guys. These cards now, well, $34.95, $34.94, call it $35. These are all US dollars. These are all raw prices. I imagine most of these, it says they're in near mint condition. I don't know how valid that is. It says they're in near mint condition, these sales. But even if we just scroll down here, you can see sort of early December, you're looking at $19, 20, 21, 25. And again, just in the last 4 weeks, this thing's gone up dramatically. Now you're getting $35 sales. That's number 9, the 9th most expensive card from EB1. We're going to go through all 10, guys. Please be patient, stick with me. If you're going to invest in sealed booster boxes, you need to know what the top chase cards are doing, if they're climbing, if they're falling, what they're worth, are people after them. This is really important stuff. A little bit boring sometimes, but important if you are investing. Here's the 8th most expensive card, this Cavendish. This is now, where are we? 29, basically $30, $29, right? I'm filming this sort of, we're coming into mid-December, early to mid-December now. So by the time you watch this, it's probably mid-December. This card's $29. If we go back, sort of June was 21. October, there's a bit of a fall in October with some of these cards. This Cavendish was under $15 in October. It's up 45% in the last 6 months, doing really well. It's now basically $29, $30. If we look at some of the recent sales here, they're pretty consistent. $29 to $30 right across the board for the last few weeks. That's the 8th most expensive card Basically just under $30 for EB1. The Charlotte Flampy. This is the 7th most expensive card in One Piece. This one is on a bit of a different trajectory to some of the others in this list. This thing is crashing. It had a high back in August, $49. It's now sitting at $33, guys. Had a low here. Had a low here of $30 a month ago. And it's 33 now. It's up kind of... You could say it's basically up 10% in the last month. But over the last 6 months, it's down 17%. $40 6 months ago, 35 to 40. Again, it had a high of almost 50. You can now pick this card up really cheap at $33. If you are after this card, if you do like this card, who's to say is it going to plummet more? Is it going to go down to $20, $10? Like, how far will this thing drop? If you love it, probably not a bad time to pick it up. Could get a bit cheaper. I'm not going to make any big bold predictions. But if you love it and you don't care about this card as an investment, maybe a good time to pick it up. It's quite cheap right now. It's the cheapest it's ever been is $30. It's now $33. Let's have a look at some of the data here. Yeah, we had a $40 sale on the 3rd of December. We had a $40 sale. That's about the highest, and they're pretty consistent in the low to mid 30s for this card. And again, that's the 7th most expensive card. This one actually crashing at the moment, unlike some of the others. This one's on the rise. This is the 6th most expensive card. This Cavendish, the 6th most expensive card from One Piece EB1, up 25%, almost 26% in 6 months. It came out of the gates at about $37 6 months ago, sort of, yeah, just after the set got released. It almost cracked 40, but then it just really from July 1, like late June, early July, all the way through here to October 1, it just spent that whole time crashing all the way down to $21. You can now pick it up for $40. Sorry, my graph is jumping all over the place here. $40 now. That's right, because this is the 6th most expensive card, guys. $40. It was $21 in October, almost doubled since October. It's almost up 100% just since October. So this thing is on the rise and rise, guys. This Cavendish is on fire. That's number 6. Now we're getting to the top 5 most expensive cards. Here's number 5. It's Mr. 2 Bon Cure. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. My One Piece investment journey is not that old. I'm a big Pokemon booster box investor. So if I say some of these One Piece names wrong, please forgive me, guys. I'm sure there's some diehard One Piece fans out there that are going, "You don't know what you're talking about. You said his name wrong." I'm just a humble investor. I'm just a humble investor, guys. This is the 5th most expensive, $44. It's up 33% in 6 months. It's been pretty consistent over the last 6 months. It's had a few sort of peaks and valleys, but for the most part, it just keeps continuing to rise. A little bit flat over the last 2 months, if I'm being honest. A little bit flat over the last 2 months. But over 6 months, it's been pretty steady. That's a $42 card, guys, and that's number 5, the 5th most expensive from EB1. The 4th most expensive, and we still haven't cracked $50 yet. This is the 4th most expensive, this Brook alternate art. $46, had a high of $55 a month ago. It's dropped off a little bit. Yeah, it's had a few dips. We had sort of 40 in August, down to 33 by late August, and shot all the way up from late August to early November, mid-November to 56. And again, we're sitting at $46, guys. So over the 6 month, it's been pretty consistent. 31% growth in 6 months. Not too bad. Most of this list is pretty strong, with the odd exception. This card, another Laboon. The Laboons are on fire. What is going on with Laboon? Tell me in the comments, why is Laboon so big in One Piece? This thing is up 292%, almost 300%, guys, in 6 months. And it is just going from strength to strength. Like, there's not really been any big dips with this card. $10 card 6 months ago. 6 months ago, this was a $10 card. Now it's $52. Laboon is absolutely on fire. We saw the other Laboon went from like 70 cents to $25. That is insane. And this one's gone up almost 300% as well. So that's the 3rd most expensive card from EB1. Obviously, Laboon is popular for some reason. That's fine with me. I don't really mind. I'm a booster box investor. I'm not really investing in singles when it comes to One Piece. So maybe I should start looking at doing that. especially when it comes to Laboon, huh? But singles are a bit too volatile for me most of the time. If I love something, I'll pick it up. Here's the second most expensive card from EB1, and to be honest, I wouldn't be looking at going and picking this card up if you're a big One Piece collector, because this thing just keeps crashing and crashing. There's no signs that this thing has stopped dropping. It's down 26% in 6 months. Since this card was released, it's just been tanking and tanking and tanking. It was $121 this card 6 months ago. Now you pick it up for $90. I mean, it's lost $30. You could say that's not a crazy big drop, but I mean, there's just no point picking it up right now. It just keeps plummeting. If you do love this card, keep an eye on it. If it starts to correct at some point in the near future, maybe look at grabbing it. But I'd be if I was a singles collector, a One Piece singles collector, rather than a booster box investor, I'd be sticking way clear of this card for now. It's just crazy how much it's dropping. Again, that's one of the few on this list that is going the other way. And that's the second most expensive card from EB1 at the moment. And then the number one, the Tony Chopper alternate art manga card. This one just shoots the lights out. The second most expensive card was $90. This thing's over $700. And this card alone is really carrying EB1 as a strong investment. Now it's dropped. It was $750 back in September. Had a high of $752 back in September. We're now at $718. It is on the way down, $750 to $720. It's not a crazy drop. I know it looks bad on this graph here. That line's just gone straight down real quick. But still over $700, a really strong card. And again, this is carrying EB1 as an investment. Here's some of the data here, some of the recent sales. You can see the most recent one, 676, 699. We had 740, 700, 720, 675. So all in the high sixes to low sevens. If we scroll down here, yeah, the highest one, 741. We had 669. High sixes to low sevens for this card over the last few weeks. So if you can pick it up under 700, I mean, it's a lot of money for one card, guys. I'd personally just take that money and buy booster boxes if you... My personal philosophy, you buy whatever you want, guys. This is not financial advice. Obviously, this is very expensive cardboard. So tread carefully and carry a big stick, as General Patton would say. But there's the Tony Chopper. Strong chase card for EB1. I've got EB1 in my collection. I think EB1 is a really good investment. Will they reprint EB1 later? I don't know. Who knows what Bandai would do? You know, they did some big reprints on the first, I think it was first 5 sets. I did a video on that a while back. I'm pretty sure it was the first 5 sets they did a reprint on, and that's really affected the booster boxes as an investment in the interim. Long term, I don't think it will matter too much. Will they reprint EB1? I just don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not going to predict what's going to happen. At the moment, the booster box, here it is here, is absolutely on fire. Like I said on the thumbnail, the rise of EB1. This is up 45% in 6 months. You could have got it a couple of weeks after release, I guess, a few weeks after release for $116 US. And now we're looking at $185 US. Over the last 6 months is up 45%. I mean, when it comes to investing in booster boxes, we are in it for 5 to 10 years. Most of us, I think, are, if not longer. But this thing is up 45% in 6 months. It's a really good sign, considering 6 months is a really short time horizon, and it's just holding up really nicely. I think even at 185 US, I think these are about 250 Australian at the moment over here in Australia. I think they're worth picking up. They could reprint this and the price could come off $50, $60. You just don't know. So what are you going to do? Are you just going to pass on it because there could be a reprint down the track? I think it's worth picking up. And look, if a reprint came along and this booster box price got affected and came down in price, to me that just shows it's probably a good time to pick up some more at a cheaper price if that happens, and dollar cost average into the investment. Thanks for watching the chase card, guys. I think EB1 is an absolute home run. Quickly before I go, I did mention that I want to rank this booster box on a percentage basis based on those top 10 chase cards. The top 10 chase cards in this set add up to $1,071, guys. That means that those top 10 chase cards in value of $1,071, relative to the purchase price of the booster box at 185, meaning that those top 10 add up to 578% of the purchase price of the booster box. 578%. I wrote it down, just had to double check. 578% of the purchase price of the booster box. To some of you, that doesn't matter. You're like, who cares? I might not pull any of those cards. I could buy 10 booster boxes, not open any of those chase cards, not pull any of those chase cards. That's not what this is about. My personal methodology, as you guys probably know if you've watched my other videos, is I just want to know that those top 10 chase cards have enough value, that there's enough juicy nuggets in this set or in any set to carry the booster box as a sealed investment. It's got to have some temptation within the set to do well as a booster box investment. For example, if the top 10 chase cards only added up to $100, to me that would represent a weak investment in the booster box, because there's not enough temptation, there's not enough juicy nuggets. So those top 10 add up to 578% of the purchase price of the booster box. EB1 is a crazy good investment. I don't think it's a mid-tier investment. I would say it's a strong investment. One caveat, I would say it's really dependent on that Tony Chopper. That's the one card that's really carrying this set as an investment. If that card was to crash, crash big time down to a couple of hundred, that would make this set a bit weaker as an investment. So I would like it to have more depth, but I still think in saying that it is a strong investment. I wouldn't say it's the strongest, but it's quite strong. It's quite strong, and I would definitely be picking up more EB1. Do you have it in your collection? Let me know. Thanks for watching the Chase Card. Let me know what your favorite card is, if any, out of those top 10, and if you have any of them. Do you have any of them graded? Let me know if you have that Tony Chopper, and let me know if you have it graded in a 10 or a 9. Just give me your comments on this set, guys. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.